Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 12 of In the Know with Mr. O. Today we're going to kind of talk about the multi-tiered system of supports framework, and I could probably do an hour-long episode on this, but because I like to keep them around 5 minutes, a lot of people don't realize that this MTSS process can cover both behavior aspects through a PBIS, or a positive behavior intervention and support type of system, as well as an academic tier-based system, where tier 1 just kind of focuses on your major items. About 85% of the population falls into those categories. Tier 2, more targeted intervention, you get about 5 to 10% there. And then tier 3 is a more one-on-one kind of, direct experience with that student or person to kind of give them the support directly or holistically that they actually need. And, some things that kind of help these aspects are having different sorts of rubrics or matrices that can kind of work there. Elementary schools use a lot of different behavior matrices that kind of give different levels, where they talk about respect, right, rapport, repair, different aspects that they could kind of follow along that students can go with. And I've been at several schools where the MTSS process have used behavior charts to monitor students and kind of see where they are. And then you couple those with the academic MTSS charts, or, spreadsheets, whatever you have from their benchmark assessments. And then you can kind of get a holistic picture of how the students are doing. I remember at a charter school I was at, they had a pretty good behavior MTSS process, but not a necessarily strong academic one. So I helped develop a more robust academic one, so that when I worked with those community coaches, team leaders, and other behavior components and leaders of the buildings, I was able to take the academic information and academic data that we had from their benchmark assessments and how they were doing in class with their grades. And I was able to have meetings, PLC, professional learning community meetings, with them. And that allowed them to kind of be able to paint a whole picture about what may have been going on. Oh, well, the student didn't perform well this week. Well, they had a death in the family, right? Or the student was acting out this week. Oh, they didn't do well on a test, and that kind of caused their anxiety because they're in an AP class. So I believe that the coupling of those and having a robust MTSS system, which was formerly called RTI or RTII, which is response to intervention, I believe is what can really help a school district and school community really support their kids the best. It's not using data to just use data. You're taking in the human element and trauma-informed responses from the behavior side of it, right? And having a guideline and a matrices to follow. But then you're also using the academic data to help support where they're actually at and try to couple the whole picture, so that if you have a meeting or speak with a parent, you could actually kind of talk to those measures more appropriately and keep track of what's happening with that student in a more human nature kind of element, because that's what we always need. Schools are growing. Not everybody that lives or teaches in the school district lives there anymore, right? Not everybody kind of knows the ins and outs or sees each other at the store or at church, right? Some districts are getting bigger. And even in the smaller communities, to be able to paint a picture might provide a better insight for those on the SAP team or those on the intervention team for academics, to put in better intervention supports for that student if they have an intervention block, to be able to target those assessments, and then also provide the emotional side of support that they know will help the student the best and be more willing to learn. I'm always willing to talk about this MTSS framework. It's something that I'm super positive about, that I think works if everybody communicates and documents things accordingly. In my time as director of safety and instruction, and just even a school safety director, these trauma-informed responses and how human behavior and dichotomy works really gets to the root cause of what's going on and can help increase academic performance, regardless if you get to the root cause of those issues. So I'd love to speak more to anybody that's willing to do it. Find the contact information in my YouTube profile there. Go to my website, reach out, be more than willing to kind of talk about these systems, how to set them up, or maybe look at the systems you already have in place, and is there a piece of the puzzle that may be missing that could help make your system finally go over the top and reach its highest fidelity, pretty much, from really K to 12, because I've dealt with all levels with these frameworks. All right. Really appreciate everybody tuning in to episode 12. I can't believe it's been this long already. And if you have any questions, always reach out. Thanks for tuning in again to another episode of In the Know with Mr. O. Peace, everybody.